So, the WWE must be on a mission to fuck up all of the progress they made over the last month as quickly as possible, because that's what they've done here tonight. Nothing's changed. Now that Stephanie's back, everything's back to shit. Yeah. Was not a good show. May 2nd, 2016, St. Louis, Missouri, the Scottrade Center. Show starts with a recap of Vince's decision from last night, making both Shane and Stephanie co-runners of Raw, whatever you want to call it. Also, recapping the title match between AJ and Roman Reigns. The whole point to that was, as soon as Stephanie and Shane were put into power by Vince, they didn't waste any time making an impact on the show. That was the whole point of that. So after that, they show the intro video for Raw, and we get pyro. Stephanie's god-awful music hits, and out she comes to a nice chorus of boos. She starts talking, and thankfully she's interrupted by Shane, who comes out to a pop. Crowd chants Shane O'Mac. I should have also noted that Stephanie came out carrying this, what looks like a gift bag. She's carrying it as she comes out, and she's holding it the whole time. Shane talks a bit, whatever the fuck. Stephanie works her way around to finally getting to the point of the gift bag. She says she has a peace offering for Shane because she wants to show that she's being genuine about working as a team with Shane. And so she hands Shane the bag, and she's like, I want you to go ahead and open that. I'll hold your microphone for you. Shane opens it up, takes the stupid paper, the gift paper away. It's a framed copy, I guess, of the picture that Vince stomped a few weeks ago before WrestleMania. The picture of Vince holding Shane, like little boy Shane, on his shoulder. You guys probably remember from before WrestleMania, that was the picture that Vince stomped and broke. Anyways. And Shane is like, you know what, I'm actually kind of moved by this, you know, whatever the fuck. Yada yada. The two of them are going back and forth about whose ideas we want to hear about for tonight's show. And Stephanie even decides to steal the, you know, do you want to hear Shane? Yay, and boo, and yay, boo, you know. She steals that from Shane. One of the whole things of this promo to notice is that Stephanie is acting nice for a change. Acting nice. Everybody and their brother can see right through this cunt. No matter what you do, Stephanie, you can act like one of the sheep, but we know you're one of the wolves. You might be a wolf in sheep's clothing, but your fangs are showing. So don't for 1 second think that you can fool anybody with this act, bitch. Anyways, Kevin Owens comes out to interrupt the two of them. And he says, you know what, I've got an idea of my own. He gets a pop, by the way, of course. He says, you know what, I've got an idea of my own, and I don't really care if you want to hear it or if these idiot people want to hear it. I'm going to tell you anyways. My idea is, I want my Intercontinental title rematch that I never got. And he says something about it's in my contract that I get a rematch. And I'm thinking, motherfucker, I want to explain this shit because it's pissed me off. The way title rematches work, if the champion loses the title, they are entitled to a rematch, yes. However, if the new champion loses the title to another person, the original rematch is null and void. And that's exactly what happened. Owens lost the Intercontinental title in the ladder match to Zack Ryder at WrestleMania. The next night on Raw, Zack Ryder loses the Intercontinental title to The Miz. At that point, only Zack Ryder had a rematch owed to him, which he got SmackDown later that same week. He lost, no more rematches after that. So Owens, you have no case here. None. You can shut up about your fucking rematch. That's the way they work, okay? That's how the rules have always said it was. And again, Owens, why shoot for the middle when you can go for the top? Oh, because the top is kind of occupied right now, I guess, is the only reason. Whatever. But he wants his rematch anyways. Cesaro comes out to a pop, wearing his suit and everything. And he says that he wants a rematch against The Miz because he was kind of screwed over when Sami and Owens started brawling on the fucking apron of the ring, distracting the ref, and then The Miz tapped out. Anyways, Shane's like, yeah, okay, you know what, fine. The two of you obviously both want a shot at the Intercontinental title. So tell you what we're going to do is, the two of you are going to have a match right now for the #1 contendership to the Intercontinental title. And that match will be up next, and they cut to a commercial break. Coming back from the break, they do a picture recap of the Intercontinental title match from last night, showing the whole controversy with Zayn and Owens, distracting the referee and everything, yada yada. Coming back to the arena, Miz and Maurice are sat at ringside, at the commentary table. They're on commentary. And of course, with that being the case, you can see what's about to happen. Owens and Cesaro go to this match. Immediately, as soon as the match starts, Cesaro starts nailing the uppercut train on Owens. He nails him into one corner, cross, and then back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. They end up out of the ring, and I think what was happening was Owens was in the corner of the barricade by the timekeeper area, and Cesaro ran up towards him to do another uppercut, but Owens got out of the way, and so Cesaro jumps up on top of the barricade, and he waits for Owens to turn around, and then Cesaro jumps off and does a flipping senton on top of Owens, wiping him out. So that was interesting and new. Cesaro also does a nice flying crossbody from the top rope after they got back into the ring. He also hits Owens with a super gut-wrench suplex from the top rope. They spill out to the outside again, or rather, Owens throws Cesaro out of the ring somehow, and then Owens does his bullfrog splash from the apron to Cesaro on the floor. After that, they cut to another commercial. Coming back from the commercial, Owens does his cannonball in the corner. Cesaro does his springboard uppercut off of the ropes. Again, they go out to the outside, and Owens gets nailed with a big running European uppercut on the barricade. Okay, this is where the finish of the match comes. Same corner from earlier where Cesaro jumped off of the barricade and hit Owens with the big flipping senton. That's the same corner, and that's where he hits Owens with the big uppercut here. And so they're over by the commentators. And they're fighting back and forth. Owens looks over. There's The Miz and the Intercontinental title belt sitting on the fucking commentary table. Owens grabs the belt, and he's getting ready to nail Cesaro with it. Miz jumps up and grabs the belt and takes it away from Owens. And I think Cesaro hit Owens, threw him back in the ring, and then turned around and decked The Miz. So Miz gets clocked and knocked over. Cesaro jumps back in the ring to follow Owens, and he grabs Owens to go for the swing. Well, of course, Miz just got clocked. He's not going to take that sitting down. He jumps in the ring, and he clocks Cesaro right in front of the referee. So obviously, ding, 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 DQ, match is fucking over. I would have to think Cesaro won by disqualification since Miz attacked him. Owens and The Miz take turns beating up Cesaro. And then Sammy comes out. Sammy comes running down from the fucking entrance ramp. He goes right after Owens. He nailed Miz, but he goes right after Owens. He starts cleaning house, basically. He throws The Miz into a corner. Owens is in the opposite corner. Sammy runs across the ring, hits the hell of a kick on Owens, and then he turns around and he goes to do the same thing to Miz, but again, Maurice grabs Miz by the leg, pulls him out of the ring, dodges a bullet there. And Sammy is left in the middle of the ring. Intercontinental title belt is still sitting there, and Sammy picks it up, and he holds it up, and the crowd starts chanting, "Yes! Yes! Yes!" So, that's the end of that segment. Cutting backstage, there's Stephanie. And she just kind of looks over and sees Dean Ambrose, and she goes up and starts talking to him. And Dean, I think what she opened with was she looks over and sees him, and he's looking at her, and she's like, "What are you looking at?" And my first reaction was, "A bloody whore." I don't know. Anyway. Ambrose basically says the same thing I just said. He's like, "You're acting all nice and everything, but nobody buys it for a second, you know?" And Stephanie says, "Well, you know, I gave you, or Shane gave you that Ambrose Asylum thing, and all this other stuff. Tell you what, how about you have me on your little Ambrose Asylum, and you can ask me any question you want?" And Ambrose is like, "Yeah, okay, fine." That's basically the gist of that. They cut to a commercial break. Oh, God. Coming back from the break, we get one of the most mindfuckery things I've seen. Immediately, it just slam cuts back to this shot. They're backstage once again. There's Tyler Breeze with his stupid goddamn selfie stick. And R-Truth with his own rigged up selfie stick. It's a branch from a fucking tree. And his phone, which looks like a BlackBerry, by the way, is duct taped to the end of it. And Truth is acting all buddy-buddy with Breeze, like, "We're a new tag team now," and Breeze is just kind of like, "Whatever the fuck, dude." Like, Breeze is trying his hardest to ignore Truth, and I'm like, yeah. Up comes Goldust, and he's like, "What the hell, Truth? I thought we were partners," and like, yeah, no. More what the fuck shit here, and Goldust happens to mention that Breeze challenged him to a match. And I'm like, oh great, I can't wait to see that shit. And Goldust is like, "Yeah, well, you know what? Me and Truth, yeah, it's not gonna work, but I've got my new tag team partner, Fandango. And there's Johnny. And what the fuck? There was actually something at the end that actually made me laugh. I can't remember what the fuck it was, though. Oh, right. I think what it was is Goldust gets to the end of cutting his little promo, and he goes, "You will never forget the name of..." And Johnny cuts him off, and he goes, "Fandango." Fandangoldust. Oh my god. Cutting over to another backstage segment, we're in the locker room. There's AJ Styles. And of course, he's talking to Gallows and Anderson. Now, I said before in one of my previous episodes that they really need to come up with a tag team name for Gallows and Anderson. Well, I think I found one. I didn't come up with it, so I'm not taking credit for this. I don't remember if it was somebody from the message board that I frequent, or if it was maybe somebody from just somewhere else. I can't remember. Somebody came up with this name, and I think it's rather fitting given their background with the Bullet Club. Bulletproof. I like that name. I'm going to keep it. So, Gallows and Anderson henceforth shall be known as Bulletproof. AJ's talking to the guys, and they're talking about, you know, the match last night. And Gallows and Anderson are like, "You took him to his limit and everything," and AJ's like, "Yeah, but I didn't win." And they're like, "Yeah, but it's okay, man, because, like, he had to have the Usos to back him up and shit." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, you guys kind of came out and fucked over AJ too, so..." Sure enough, up comes Reigns, for some reason, and he's like, "Yeah." As soon as he comes up, Gallows and Anderson go to dive at him, and AJ has to hold him back. He's like, no, hold on, let the motherfucker speak. I guess. Why? I don't know, because it's not his strong suit. Roman says he respects AJ, but he doesn't respect Gallows and Anderson. I'm like, yeah, because I want your fucking respect, Reigns. You had your whole fucking career handed to you on a silver platter by McMahon. Fuck you. Basically, he works his way towards making a point of, we saw what happened in the match last night. We see how you deal with your business and shit, but how are you going to deal with us? Up come the Usos, flanking Roman. So basically what he's saying is, we want a 6-man tag match with you. AJ says, "You're on." And that's the end of that. Cutting back to the arena, Goldust's music hits. And he comes out with Fandango. Cutting to a commercial break. Again. Jesus. Coming back from the break, Breeze's terrible music hits. And he comes out, no reaction whatsoever. And he's accompanied by R-Truth. R-Truth doing his best to completely mimic Breeze's entrance. He's doing the shit with his fucking shitty-ass selfie stick. He does the thing where Breeze gets on the apron, and he holds the thing, and he does it, and then the roll into the ring. So Truth is just copycatting everything. It looks bad. It's really lame. So, of course, it's getting ready for this match here. Before the match starts, Breeze looks over at Truth, and he's like, "Here." R-Truth hands him something, and Breeze takes it, puts it on. It's a do-rag. Goldust knocks the crap out of him, knocking the fucking thing off. And he looks over at Truth. He's like, "Why didn't I get one of those?" You know? Basically, the whole story of this match is Goldust and Truth are fucking just bitching at each other back and forth and whatever. Truth is trying to ignore Goldust because Goldust nails Breeze with some move, and Truth's not even looking. And Goldust looks over. He's like, "Did you see that? Did you see what I just did there?" And Truth is messing with his selfie stick, just not even paying any attention to Goldust. Bunch of bullshit. Out of nowhere, Breeze rolls Goldust up with a schoolboy. 1, 2, 3. Match is over. Crowd's dead. They don't give a fuck. Cutting backstage, there's the New Day guys. There's some stagehands. Somebody's got some sign. It says New Day Twerk Team or some shit on it. And Woods grabs that. And they have this other stagehand guy start twerking. And it's okay. They're coming out next to address the controversy that happened last night at the pay-per-view, Enzo's concussion, and the calling off of the match between Enzo and Cass and the Vaudevillains. Cutting to a commercial break. Coming back from the commercial break, New Day they come out, get Big Pop, and while they're coming out, the commentators, I believe, mentioned that because of what happened last night at the pay-per-view, the Vaudevillains are being given the title match. They were awarded the victory over Enzo and Cass. Why, I don't fucking know. So, whatever. The New Day guys start talking, cutting a promo, and they happen to mention what happened to Enzo, and they show a replay of it up on the Titantron. And Woods mentions some more bullshit about Beyonce. Ugh. And they also mentioned that Enzo put out a tweet last night after he was released from the hospital, so he's okay. It's just a concussion. He'll be fine after he recovers. They're continuing to talk when all of a sudden the Vaudevillains music hits, and they come out to some boos. They insult Enzo by saying a real man would have gotten up after a shot like that, you know. And I'm like, no, just about anybody would have gotten a concussion from that shot. But whatever. Aiden English is the one doing most of the talking here. And yes, I've finally figured out which one's which. Aiden English is the tall one, and Simon Gotch is the one that I said looked like Sami Callihan. He does. He's got the kind of... how to describe him? He's got like a fat ass, and then he's kind of smaller up top. And that shit fucking comb-over hairdo with the fucking mustache. English, see, when the Vaudevillains came out, they were interrupting the New Day guys, as the New Day guys were about to do their thing where they go, WWE World Tag Team Champions. So they interrupt him at that spot, cutting them off. And Enzo ends up singing the same words. And he's actually not a bad singer, I would say. Gotch starts talking, and he flings a couple of more insults at Enzo. Can't remember what they were, though. But then, for some fucking reason, the Dudleys come out, interrupting. And I'm thinking, what the fuck are these broke-down old pieces of shit coming out for? You got knocked out of the tournament. You have no fucking place in this argument right now. But they come out, and they call the Vaudevillains carnies. And I think, that's fucking funny as hell. That's the pot calling the kettle black. You motherfuckers were carnies as all hell in ECW, so don't fucking call anybody else carnies. Take your carny asses back to fucking TNA and sink with that ship where you belong. Pieces of shit. The idiot Dudleys think that the whole fucking tag team title #1 contendership tournament should be restarted. And afterwards, the Enzo and Cass music hits, and I'm thinking, what, is Enzo already ready to go again? No, Cass comes out by himself. to pop. He insults the Vaudevillains, can't remember exactly what he said about them. Insults the Dudleys. Says that they're all soft, you know. And then he jumps in the ring, goes right after the Vaudevillains, and we get a whole big brawl between all of these teams. It's the face ones going against the heel ones, obviously. So you got the 3 guys of the New Day and Cass going against the Vaudevillains and the Dudleys. And shortly after this brawl starts, they crash cut to commercial. And I almost kind of called this, because as soon as it cut to commercial, I'm like, and when we come back from commercial, we're going to be having a 4-man or an 8-man tag match. Yeah. They come back, they're already wrestling. And moron Michael Cole's like, yeah, during the commercial break, Stephanie and Shane made this a match. I'm like, well, no shit. So we get a match between these 8 guys. New Day is doing their Unicorn Stampede on Gotch. And what ends up happening is the heel team ends up isolating Woods, I think. They're beating him down, And a lot of the point of this is the Dudleys are, like, trying to teach the Vaudevillains, like, how to be good heels. Like, in the match, they're like, yeah, let me show you how it's done. And they start whacking on Woods, and then they tag him in, and they're like, yeah, now you do something, right? And then fucking, yeah. Woods ends up making a hot tag to Kofi Kingston, and he comes in. He runs hot for a minute or two, only to get thrown out of the ring, and I think it was Aiden English grabs him and throws him face first into the fucking ring post in their corner. So he gets wiped out, and they cut to a commercial break. Coming back from the commercial break, more heel tactics isolating Kofi, and they're beating him down, doing basically the same shit. Kofi's able to make the hot tag to Big Cass, who comes in and starts running hot. He hits his Empire elbow drop. Pin is broken up by somebody. Yeah. I think it was one of the Vaudevillains guys, was on the apron. Cass gives him a monster of a big boot. He falls out of the ring to the floor, gets caught by Big E, who belly-to-belly suplexes him over his fucking head. So that was a nice little combo. Finish of the match comes. The Dudleys are trying to hit the 3D on Big Cass. They're trying to finish him off. Well, Bubba tags in Devon, and they go to set up for the 3D. Well, as they're setting it up, Bubba's all reared back. Kofi comes flying in from the thing, big springboard, crossbodies Bubba, and takes him out. This leaves Devon in the ring with Big Cass. Big Cass hits a move he calls the East River Crossing on Devon, which the East River Crossing, it's basically the move, you get him, you're holding him like this, like you're going to do a fall-away slam, but you spin him around and slam him down like the side effect, like Matt Hardy used to do. I call it the Cali Powerplex, but whatever the fuck. It's that move. He nails that on Devon, gets the 1, 2, 3. New Day and Cass win the match. The match was actually good. It was good heel stuff with the Dudleys. Just good tag team wrestling. Crowd popped at the victory, of course, because, you know, the faces won. That's always nice. Oh, yeah, Christ. And then, cutting into the next segment, the announcers, they hype up, we're going to have a big battle royal to determine the new #1 contender to the United States title. And thankfully, Ryback isn't in it, so we don't have to worry about that. That's going to be later on. They also hype up Stephanie being on the Ambrose Asylum. And they cut to a commercial. Coming back from the commercial, once again they recap the title match from last night at the pay-per-view, as well as the stuff between Stephanie and Shane earlier, at the start of the show. They also hype up the big six-man tag match, the Usos and Reigns versus AJ and Bulletproof. Then we get a picture recap of the women's title match from last night, the whole controversy with the screwjob finish. And they also happen to show a little bit of a clip of Charles Robinson, the referee, Lil Nate. He actually wrestled a match in WCW. And he came out, they basically showed a snippet of his entrance. He came out dressed like Ric Flair with the robe, doing the strut and everything, and the woo! Yeah. And so they hype up, Charlotte is going to address the controversy from last night. Cutting back to the arena, Becky's music hits, Becky Lynch, and she comes out to pop, and they immediately cut back to another fucking commercial. But before they cut away to the commercial, Michael Cole happens to note something about Becky and Emma having problems, and that's what this is leading to, a match between these two. So coming back from the commercial, Emma's terrible heel remix music hits, and she comes out in her weird fucking shoulder pads and her ugly goddamn aviator shades. She gets no fucking reaction. None. And while she's coming out, they take this opportunity to show the two women have been tweeting at each other, and that's really the only hype or explanation we get for this match. Apparently they broke into the business at about the same time. They used to be friends or some shit. Anyways. We get the match between these two. And there ain't really a whole lot to this match. All that really happens is the fucking finish. Becky had been just wailing on Emma. And Emma gets backed up against the ropes. Not in the corner, but just on the side of the ropes. And Becky's still trying to nail her. Dumbass referee gets in between them and starts trying to hold Becky off. And I'm like, motherfucker, just let him fight. This guy is just getting way too touchy-feely on Becky, trying to push her back. Well, of course, Emma, being the heel, takes advantage of it, pokes Becky in the eye, although it looked more like she just palm-striked her in the fucking forehead like that. She just kind of went, eh, and Becky starts selling it like, fuck my eye. Apparently she has a hurt eye or something, and Emma hit her in the hurt eye. Hadn't heard about this before, so I don't know where the fuck that came from. But taking advantage of the eye poke, Emma grabs her and hits a Michinoku driver, because apparently that's her finishing move. She hits it, hooks the leg, 1, 2, 3, Emma wins, crowd's fucking dead. Because no one gives a shit about Emma anymore. Fuck you, bitch! Go back to Australia. Anyways, more hype for Stephanie on the Ambrose Asylum, which is going to be next, and they cut to a commercial break. Coming back from the break, we get a new Epico and Primo vignette. They're eating at some restaurant, and they're talking, there's no fast food here, there's no TV dinners and all this other bull, there's no vending machines, all our food is natural here. Come to Puerto Rico, the shining star, come to Puerto Rico, the shining star of the Caribbean. Or Caribbean. Yeah, they said Caribbean. I'm pretty sure the proper pronunciation is Caribbean. Either way. Coming back from that, Ambrose's music hits, and he comes out to a pop. The ring is all set up for the Ambrose Asylum. It has this little, easel, basically, thing to hold up the little poster board that says Ambrose Asylum on it. He's got a little, bar stool with his potted plant, and it's got this ugly, shag rug carpet in the ring. And Ambrose starts talking. He's like, this is Mitch. He's gesturing towards the plant for some reason. Apparently he named the plant. I have to mention it because it comes up in a minute. And And Ambrose is talking. He introduces Stephanie. He's like, be nice. He introduces Stephanie. She comes out. She still gets booed. She gets booed briefly, and then the crowd just goes dead. So it was either, once again, the WWE turning down the volume on the crowd mics, or the crowd just went dead because they just can't give a shit anymore. So Ambrose and Stephanie start talking, and Ambrose starts making his way towards this point of, a picture says 1,000 words, and he happens to gesture up on the Titantron. How about this picture from WrestleMania? And it's just a still picture of Stephanie being speared by Roman. Steph's like, yeah, I got speared, learning lessons and shit like that. She's really trying to put over this whole nice thing that she's turning on now. Yeah, we still see right through you, bitch. Crowd starts chanting Shane O'Mac because I guess Ambrose mentioned him. Dean's basically stirring the pot between Stephanie and Shane, He's like, the crowd loves Shane and they hate you and all this other shit. And after a while, Stephanie, she's had enough because she's still a bitch. And she says, it was Shane that gave you this show, but I'm taking it away. I'm canceling the Ambrose Asylum. And she's like, how about you just clean up all this shit and get the fuck out of here? And Dean's like, yeah, he's like, I ain't even mad, He's like, hosting this show is a lot of work, and I don't even really care. I'm just going to take Mitch here and get out of here. And he takes the fucking potted plant, and he starts leaving the ring. He puts it back on the plant. He puts it on the ring steps. And as Ambrose is leaving, Stephanie says, I'd like to introduce... what the fuck did she say? I'd like to introduce the new host of the show that will be replacing the Ambrose Asylum, the highlight reel being hosted by Chris Jericho. Now, this pissed me off because earlier I saw on Facebook Jericho had let out a tweet on Twitter saying basically that he was done with the WWE. So apparently that was a load of bullshit. This fucking old cocksucker comes out in his frilly goddamn scarf and his stupid little vest. Comes out to crickets, by the way. Crowd does not give a fuck about this old bitch no more. He gets down and him and Ambrose have a stare down. They're staring at each other and Ambrose is like, motherfucker, come on, I beat you last night. Come on, motherfucker. They start fighting, obviously. They fight into the ring. Ambrose goes for the dirty deeds, but Jericho reverses out of it and hits a code breaker on Ambrose. And Jericho, still just really pissy, he throws down the fucking easel thingy with the sign, throws that down on top of Ambrose and then throws it away. He's just really pissy. Throws Ambrose out of the ring, over by the entrance ramp. And the plant, Mitch, is still on the ring steps over there by that side of the ring. And so Ambrose is laying out there, and Jericho starts looking over at the potted plant. He gets out of the ring, he grabs it, he's cocked back and ready, he's like, come on, motherfucker, Ambrose starts getting up, his back is turned to Jericho. Jericho comes up and just smashes this plant upside the back of Ambrose's head, throwing dirt and potted fake plastic leaves all over the goddamn place. And Jericho finishes out the segment kneeling over Ambrose, just like motherfucker, whispering into his fucking ear and shit. And they cut to another commercial break. Coming back, of course, from the break, we get a recap of what just happened. JBL makes a really bad joke. Like, right up there with Jerry Lawler's bad jokes. What'd he say? Basically, I think what he said was Ambrose got planted. I fucking hate you, JBL. I fucking hated your sorry ass since you came into this fucking company. You were an annoying sack of shit from the beginning. I cannot fucking wait until somebody replaces your ass on commentary. Anyways, Kalisto is on commentary. And it's time for the Battle Royal. Bunch of people are already in the ring, but for some reason, they save entrances for a bunch of jabronis. None of which actually ended up winning the match. Titus O'Neil gets a entrance. He gets no reaction, by the way. Sheamus gets his own entrance, also to no reaction. And during his entrance, they happened to mention last week on SmackDown the breakup of the League of Nations. They show a clip of them fighting backstage amongst each other. Yeah. And after that, Baron Corbin gets his entrance, and he basically gets no reaction either. So we have this Battle Royal for the #1 contendership to the United States title. I wrote down several of the eliminations, but only ones that were, like, important. Damien Sandow was in it, and he's the second guy to get eliminated. He gets thrown out. Fuck, I can't remember who threw him out. But they booed when he was eliminated, because, of course, everybody likes Sandow. Why the fuck hasn't he been used much lately? Anyways. Baron Corbin is eliminated by Dolph Ziggler. Corbin immediately grabs Ziggler, pulls him out of the ring under the bottom rope, beats the shit out of him, and then throws him back into the ring, leading to Ziggler being eliminated by Rusev. Rusev basically just picked Ziggler up off the apron, picked him up, and just chucked him right back out of the ring. And so Ziggler was eliminated. They cut to another commercial break. Coming back from the break, Titus O'Neil gets eliminated by Sheamus, and then Curtis Axel gets eliminated by Del Rio. By the way, all three former members of the League of Nations, are in this. Axel is eliminated by Del Rio. Bo Dallas gets eliminated by Sin Cara. And then Sin Cara gets eliminated by Del Rio. And that led into the Final Four. You had all three of the former members of the League of Nations, Del Rio, Sheamus, and Rusev, and Zack fucking Ryder. Sheamus had beaten Ryder down in the corner, and he basically looks over and sees there's Del Rio and there's Rusev, and he's like, yeah, whatever. He grabs Ryder, throws him into the middle of the ring, and he's like talking to him, whatever the fuck. The three of them start beating the crap out of Zack Ryder. Which I'm laughing, because, yeah. Doesn't take them long, the three of them turn on each other. What happened? Somebody went to throw Ryder out of the ring. Ryder holds on, but immediately I think Sheamus went to throw Del Rio out of the ring. And he held on, but whatever. Sheamus gets eliminated by Del Rio, and Del Rio gets eliminated by Zack Ryder. This leaves Ryder and Rusev as the last two. Moron crowd still chanting for this jabroni bitch. They're fighting around. Ryder gets the upper hand, and he's taken down Rusev. He even hits him with the broski boot in the corner. He grabs Rusev and he picks him up and he starts going to chuck him towards the ropes. Rusev reverses it, chucks Ryder out with authority, Ryder's eliminated. Rusev wins. Fuck you, Ryder! Go away! You jabroni piece of shit! Rusev is left standing in the ring, celebrating. Out comes Lana, who comes out and celebrates with him, and I'm like, yeah, because Lana's pretty, and yeah, whatever. More hype for Charlotte addressing the controversy. And that's going to be next, and they cut to the commercial break, and this was at about 10:30. Coming back from the break, they mention that we're going to get our first episode of the highlight reel this Thursday on SmackDown with guest Sami Zayn. And I can only see that ending badly. Anyways, cutting back to the arena, Charlotte's crappy music hits and she comes out with her daddy Rick. Hardly any fucking reaction. While they're coming out, because again their fucking entrance is so goddamn boring, we get a recap of the match last night, the whole screw job and everything. Charlotte starts talking, and she brings out Charles Robinson, the referee, Little Nate. Crowd starts chanting cheater at her. Charlotte starts talking to Charles Robinson, asking him, did Natalya tap out to the sharpshooter? And Robinson says, she didn't tap out, but she said, make it stop, which constitutes a verbal submission, which is horseshit. They start chanting, the crowd starts chanting cheater at Charlotte again. More bullshit. Anyways. Lil Nate leaves, and immediately Natalya's music hits, and she comes out to a pop. And she immediately jumps in the ring and grabs the microphone away from Charlotte. And she starts talking, saying that her and her family will always be the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Yada yada. Charlotte tries to attack Natty, but Natty swats her away like the bitch fly that she is. And she chucks Charlotte the fuck out of the ring, leaving herself in the ring, Natalya in the ring, with Rick, who takes off his Rolex and his Hall of Fame ring, he takes off his jacket, and he starts doing this number like he's gonna do anything to Natalya. Natalya fucking decks old piece of shit Flair, puts him in the fucking sharpshooter. Charlotte ends up having to pull Flair out of the ring. Rick out of the ring. And so Charlotte and Rick are backing up the ramp. Natalya grabs Rick's Hall of Fame ring and puts it on. She grabs the Rolex and puts that on. She grabs Rick's jacket and throws that over her shoulder. She's flaunting this shit at Charlotte, and yeah. Anyways. We get more hype for the 6-man tag match, the Usos and Reigns versus AJ and Bulletproof. That's going to be next, and then there's another commercial break. Coming back from the break, there's Rick and Charlotte backstage, licking their wounds. Stephanie comes up, and she says basically that, Charlotte, you need a chance to prove that the figure 8 is better than the sharpshooter. And I can think of no better way to do that than to have Charlotte versus Natalya in a submission match at Extreme Rules. And Steph continues by saying, and I think it's best for business or something, that Rick, you be banned from ringside. And Rick just has he gives her the mother of all stink eyes. Like, yeah. Anyways, that's basically the gist of the... Oh, yeah. Stephanie, she finishes off her promo, she's cutting on him, and she looks at Rick and she says, how about just for one time, give me a woo? And again, that's where Flair gives her the mother of all stink eyes. He's just looking at her like, you fucking bitch. I'm like, I know, right? She is a bitch. Anyways, cutting back to the arena, AJ's music hits, and he comes out flanked by Bulletproof, Anderson, and Gallows. So they don't get separate entrances, it's just AJ. And complete with them posing together, AJ does his nice pose over by the ropes, and Anderson and Gallows are standing on the apron. They're just like, yeah, you know. Then Reigns' shit music hits, and he comes out flanked by the Usos. So thank God we don't have to watch the Usos shit entrance. They get booed, obviously. Of course they do, because all three of them suck ass from a fucking straw. We get the match between these two teams. And I forgot to do so. It doesn't matter, though. We get the match between these two teams. And, whatever. Towards the beginning of the match, there was a dueling chant. AJ Styles, Roman Reigns. So, for some reason, the people in St. Louis, at least enough of them bought tickets to the show to actually voice their opinions that they actually like Roman. Either that or they were plants, I don't know. There's a commercial break. Oh yeah. AJ was in there with one of the Usos, and AJ had knocked the Uso guy down. Again, it doesn't matter which one's which, because they're both boring jabronis. AJ had been distracted by something. He turns around and eats a huge super kick from the Uso, and I think I saw a tooth go flying. AJ had went to hit the phenomenal forearm on Reigns. This was a little bit later on. Reigns ducked it once again. Reigns gets AJ in the one corner, and he charges back into the other corner. He's getting ready for his stupid Superman punch. He gets ready to hit it, and Gallows is there on the apron. Reigns nails him with the Superman punch instead. And then he backs up and he goes to do the Superman punch again on AJ this time, but AJ catches him with a nice big jumping enziguri kick. I don't know. Somehow Roman wound up on the outside of the ring with Gallows and Anderson. Gallows gets Roman up on his shoulders, and he backs him over towards the barricade over by the timekeeper area. That place is getting traffic lately, apparently. But he's holding him there, and I'm like, oh, cray, I can see where this is going. Anderson comes running up, boots Roman in the face, and Gallows turns it the fucking flapjack. Flapjack guts him onto the barricade. So that's the boot of doom onto the barricade. And that takes Roman out long enough. AJ is the legal man with one of the Usos. AJ nails the phenomenal forearm on the Uso and gets the 1-2-3. So AJ and Bulletproof win. Crowd pops, of course. Gallows and Anderson, however, aren't done. They grab Roman, throw him into the ring, and one of them grabs a chair and throws that into the ring. And they get in there, and I think Gallows is holding Roman down, and Anderson gets this chair, and AJ kind of looks over, and he's like, what the hell are you guys doing? And Anderson hands the chair to AJ. He's like, we want you to hit him in the head with the fucking chair. And I'm like, I want to see you hit him in the fucking head with the chair, too. Maybe you knock some fucking talent into his damn brain. Anyways, so Gallows and Anderson now are holding Roman back so AJ can hit him with this chair. AJ's got the chair, and he's getting ready, and then he's just like, nah. He drops the chair, and he tosses it aside. Gallows and Anderson just start beating down Roman some more. All of a sudden, the Usos jump in the ring. One of them picks up the chair and nails AJ across the back with it. AJ goes down. I guess the Usos clear the ring of Anderson and Gallows, clears those two out of the ring. But then AJ comes up from behind the Usos. He's got the chair now. He nails one of them across the back with it. He falls out of the ring. And then the other one turns around and AJ jabs him in the stomach with him, doubling him over so he can crack him across the back with it. And he falls out of the ring. As this is happening, Roman is getting up. And he sees AJ nail the Usos with the chair. And of course, that's my family. Nuh-uh, you know. That's what Roman is thinking. He watches AJ nail his cousins, the Usos, with his fucking chair. He gets really pissed. AJ turns around, eats a Superman punch from Roman. And Roman is pissed. He picks AJ up, and he goes to throw him out of the ring, but it was really badly botched, because Roman is just shit in the ring. AJ just runs face first into the ropes like he was taking a turnbuckle spot. He hits the thing, falls down, and then rolls out of the ring because he knew he was supposed to go out of the ring. Roman goes out after him. He keeps beating him down. He throws him into the corner of the barricade. He clears off the announce table. He throws AJ into the barricade again. And I can see what's going to happen here. Roman picks AJ up, gets him up, and does a nice, like, running, throwing powerbomb, powerbombing AJ through the announce table. And it looked like he damn near missed the fucking table because AJ just barely landed on the side of this table. Like, it's like this, and he just barely caught the short edge of the fucking table. So Roman really should have took another couple of steps before throwing AJ. But either way, this is basically how the show goes off the air. Roman is left standing over AJ, holding up his belt, and that's basically it. So yeah, Raw sucked again. Took Stephanie one fucking night back to ruin everything. She's acting nice. No, bitch, you don't get to act nice. You're a cunt. You can act nice all you want. I'd still slap your fucking teeth down your throat if I had a chance. I swear, what the fuck is with this company, man? 1 month of having Shane run Raw in storyline. And he was okay. And the show was better just by a little bit, just because Stephanie wasn't there. Vince wasn't there much. Triple H wasn't there. Thankfully tonight we didn't see hide nor hair of Triple H's punk ass. Only silver lining, by the way. But yeah, now we're stuck with Shane and Stephanie sharing control of Raw. Yeah. So, as always, I guess I'll just go over the matches again. We started off with an okay enough match between Cesaro and Kevin Owens going to a DQ finish. Again, I will guess that Cesaro won by DQ since he was the one that was attacked by The Miz. Tyler Breeze defeats Goldust with a bullshit roll-up and a bunch of distraction shit. Shit match, by the way, that no one in the crowd gave a fuck about. The New Day and Big Cass defeat the Vaudevillains and the Dudleys in a good tag team match. Probably the only good match of the night. Emma gets a cheap win over Becky Lynch with an eye poke and a shit Michinoku driver. And another match that the crowd didn't give a fuck about, by the way. Rusev eliminates the punk bitch Zack Ryder to win the fucking #1 contendership to the United States title in a big battle royal. And then in the main event, AJ Styles and Bulletproof defeat Roman Reigns and the bitch-ass Usos. That was an alright match, I guess. I didn't really write down a rating for it, but oh well, it doesn't matter. It was alright enough. It was nice to see AJ and Bulletproof get a win, only for AJ to get destroyed by Romans afterwards. So yeah, we're right back to square fucking one. That was Raw from May 2nd, 2016, St. Louis, Missouri's Scottrade Center. The show really wasn't that good. It really wasn't. So, yeah. This show ain't getting any better with Stephanie on it. Really just would have been nice for Vince to bring back the brand split. Oh well, the WWE continues to suck. Thank you for joining us tonight. Join us next time when I go over spoilers for SmackDown. And we'll see you next time for that, so good night.